What's up, North County? I'm your host, Randy Doty, and we are talking with Supervisor John Peschong. Welcome. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me again. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. So, but like I said, I'm glad you came in because there's so much stuff going on.
There is a lot going on everywhere.
And I really like the fact that, John, you're just open. It's like before we come on, hey, is there anything you want to talk about? No, I talk about anything. I love that, And you're such an easygoing person, to where I don't really understand fully what you do. You know what I'm saying? And what your position is with the politics and what exactly do you do, John?
So throughout the nation, we're organized. Each state's organized by counties, and so they have county governments. Some of them would have a commissioner, county commissioner. Our state has a supervisor, and it's broken down into 5 different districts based on population within a county. We have 58 counties, so we actually have 58 different boards of supervisors. And we are an extension, basically, of the state government. So the state sends us money to implement programs in the community, and then we make sure that the programs work, that they're not going into the red, that they're sticking to their budget, make sure that the programs are getting out to the people in the community where services are needed. Anyway, we have, as I said, 58 counties. The largest county is Los Angeles County, so they would have 5. I think City and County of San Francisco, so that's city and county, they're combined. I think they've got 7 supervisors up there, but they called mayor, and then they got a mayor. But the smallest county is Alpine County. So Alpine County, you can be a supervisor and get somewhere around 150 votes and be a county supervisor up there. I got about 12,000 votes in my last election here in the North County, and so that's kind of what they do, supervisors do, and that's how it's organized. But we do work directly with the state government on everything from behavioral health programs to parks and rec programs. We get a lot of money, as I said, from the state. We get grants, and then we make sure that that money's being spent the right way and it's actually doing what it's supposed to do to help the community. But we oversee the services that are delivered to the community.
Interesting. So the name supervisor, you are supervising what happens within our county? Mostly
the budget. We spend a lot of time on budgets. So we're close to $1 billion budget here in San Luis Obispo County. We have to have a balanced budget each year. We can't run a deficit by law. So we actually wish they had that in Washington D.C. But we make sure that it's a balanced budget every year. There are programs. We'll find out a program maybe didn't work, and we'll slow it down or stop it and move that money to a program that does work. But right now we're really focused. We have been for the last few years with the state government on the homeless issue and making sure that we have shelters set up and drug rehab programs and also mental health programs that help those people that are less fortunate that are living in the riverbed, let's just say in Paso Robles. And then we also do, as I said, the parks programs. So in North County here, the county government oversees 3 pools, Templeton, San Miguel, and Shandon. We oversee those 3 pools. And one of the things we want to make sure that we have enough lifeguards each summer, and we make sure that the pools are open so the kids can enjoy it during the summer and cool down a little bit and maybe learn to swim and be able to not be afraid of the water. We have parks, as you know, like Templeton Park is a county park. That park, and so we make sure that it's maintained the right way, and we need to get some new equipment in there. Libraries, so we do oversee the library system in the county. So the closest library that we run is at Atascadero Library, which is a great library. And so,
well, what about the Templeton? The library?
Templeton is a private nonprofit has set that library.
Really?
Yep. Yep, and they've done a great job.
Huh.
They really came together and raised some money and built that themselves, and it's been pretty neat to watch them really do a great job.
And that was a long time in the making.
It was. That thermometer was on that corner for years.
Right, and then all of a sudden it just shot up.
Yeah, I think they had a big donation. I think someone passed away and bequeathed a large amount of money, and so they were able to really kind of wrap it up and make it happen. But they have pretty dynamic leadership at that library, and so of the foundation, and so they're working hard. And then they have the Makers Fair, like they do. You know, they're doing other things besides just lending books. So it's
Right.
been really good.
And I think they have a garden in the back or something.
They do.
That they're
You know,
doing.
it's great because you get to watch how it grows as you drive, over the river there.
Right.
So yeah.
So John, how long have you been in your position?
So I've been elected. This is my 8th year. So and my term will come to an end in December. But I just got reelected in March for a third term. So I'll start a new term in January for 4 years. So
Okay.
at the end of that, it'll have been 12 years.
And were you always in? Was this always your path in, politics and that kind of stuff?
Well, I've been actively involved in politics since I got out of college. So I went to Loyola Marymount University down in Los Angeles, and I moved to Washington D.C. right after college, and I worked in a number of political jobs back there. Including I worked at the White House in the Reagan administration. So
Did
I did
you
a
really?
lot of, I did.
Oh,
And so I
wow.
worked with President Reagan for a number of years. And then after that, I started working in public affairs and campaign work and started doing campaigns. And I've basically been doing campaigns for a very long time. So about 40 years.
Wow.
So it's been a lot of fun.
So John, let me stop you right there. Let's take a break.
You bet.
And I want to hear more about the Reagan administration.
You bet.
Because we just got done, or at least I did, just watch
Watching the movie.
Reagan. And, like I said, I grew up in that era, my dad being in cattle. So I want to hear more about that. So
That'd be great.
We'll be right back to What's Up North County with John Peschong.
Hi, it's Alex with Suprema Meat Market. We are a Mexican meat market with a taqueria. Come enjoy our high-quality cuts and meats. We offer choice and prime Harris Ranch beef, as well as chicken, seafood, and pork items. In the taqueria, all of our tacos come with handmade tortillas. We also offer specialty items like chilaquiles and chile rellenos. Come enjoy Taco Tuesday with Suprema. We offer our tacos at $1.99 each. Suprema Meat Market is located at 8950 Montecito Avenue in the Atascadero.
Are you tired of looking at that worn-out concrete garage floor, patio, or porch? Look no further than MGP Coatings, where customer service reigns supreme. Our team goes above and beyond to ensure your satisfaction every step of the way. Before we even start coating, we meticulously repair your concrete, ensuring a flawless finish that lasts. And here's the best part. Our Pentec coatings are 4 times stronger than epoxy, so they won't chip or peel, making maintenance a breeze. Plus, they come with a limited lifetime warranty. Call us today at 805-952-5301 or check out our Facebook and Instagram and experience the MGP coating difference. Don't wait. Transform your garage, patio, porch, or driveway and become a part of the MGP coating family.
Welcome back to What's Up North County, and we're talking here with Supervisor John Peschong, and we're talking about being in Reagan's administration.
Yes, I was in the second administration, but the second 4-year term.
So history states that he was not really looking for that second term, but he was kind of like spurred to kind of go for the second term, right?
Well, I think he had a lot of support from the people around him that got him to start thinking about running for re-election. It's not an easy job, right? So you get into something like that, and people are after you all the time. And I think he was, he probably was really considering his options. And I thought, the fact that he ran, he had great support within in the community that supported him, but also, he ended up winning one of the biggest landslides we've ever seen. So I think that he got the answer there, that the people were behind him and the people in this country supported him.
And obviously you had direct contact with them.
I did. It's interesting because I worked in the Office of White House Media Relations, and so I did television and radio activity, kind of like what we're doing right here. And so I helped set up interviews. I did the radio addresses on Saturdays, either from Camp David or the Oval Office, kind of produced those. But he was, President Reagan was the most professional personality / politician I've ever worked with. This guy could, when he did a 5-minute radio address, he knew for a fact, because he was in radio for so long, that he spoke 16 lines a minute. So he would just do those 16 lines, and he just needed to make sure that he ended it exactly at 5 minutes. Because every Saturday, he would do a radio address. He loved doing them, and he would do the microphone either in the Oval Office or if he was at Camp David, and he did them live. And he wanted to make sure that they were 5 minutes Yes, exactly. So because they would put them on the Associated Press or United Press International, whoever it was, would put them out there at 12 o'clock Eastern time, and then at 12:05 they would be done. And there was a lot of stations that would go live with them. So he always on. And we did a lot of television too. We did a lot of different. We had we'd set up a little studio down in the library at the White House, and we would film him for videos, and we'd send those videos out to organizations that he couldn't make, but he wanted to send a video comment congratulating like the otorhinolaryngologists of Greater Des Moines, on their anniversary or whatever it would be. So, but he did a lot of these different events, a lot of live speeches too. We did. I was in the Oval Office the night he did his farewell address to the nation. I was part of that team that put that together.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was great. I had a lot of interaction with him just on just kind of not really about policies or issues. It was all kind of just fun. It was just a blast. He was great to work with. He had a great sense of humor. He would tell jokes like nobody could tell jokes. And I just thought, he really had, and because this has been, of course, after he had been shot in the attempted assassination. And so he just had a great feel for people, how to talk to people. And a lot of that had to do with his Midwest, upbringing. And he came to California, as you know, if you watch the movie, to basically be the voice of the Chicago Cubs. And so he used to tell this story about how he was all excited because being a lifeguard back east in Illinois, he was a lifeguard, and he had saved a number of people's lives. And so he came out and he had some time off out on Catalina Island because that's where the Cubs had their spring training. And so he was all excited because he had a couple hours off, so he was going to go in the water. And he had no idea how cold the Pacific Ocean was, and he was just, he jumped off a pier into there and just swam for his life to get onto shore because it was so cold. He used to talk about that a lot. So,
oh wow,
yeah, it was pretty interesting stuff. But that's where I met Judge Clark, and Judge Clark is actually one of the reasons why my family lives here in San Luis Obispo County. My wife and I got married up at Chapel Hill, Sarah Chapel now, and also our kids were baptized up there. But Judge Clark, I met him when he was Interior Secretary, and we stayed in touch. A number of the other kind of Reagan people, some of the cabinet secretaries I'm friends with, and so we would I talk to all those guys. But he always said you should move to San Luis Obispo County because it's a beautiful place. Because he had moved his family from Ventura County up to Shandon.
Where it sits now, huh?
It is, yes.
Wow. So do you still have ties? By the way, I want to say that the Reagan movie was phenomenal. There was a lot of great. I mean, I thought. I liked watching the movies versus reading things, and there was just a lot of great references. I think Judge Clark's character looked like
Judge Clark.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That part of it was amazing.
Yeah.
But do you still keep in contact with like some of those people of your counterparts during that time?
I do, actually. I was just down at the Reagan Library about a month ago for Ken Kachigian, who was a speechwriter for President Reagan, and a friend of mine who really helped me out when I was younger, and he's just a tremendous individual, and he has published a book. So a lot of these guys that were in that administration are publishing books. And some of them have some of the greatest stories. I mean, even Judge Clark, there's a book on Judge Clark that was put out that has it's a great book about his life and everything he had been through and everything he had seen. So it's pretty neat that they're doing books and being able to add their kind of oral history, putting it on paper and getting it out there into the community. How was
Nancy? Was Nancy the way that she is privately as she was in publicly?
Well, I had some interaction with her. We did a number of interviews with her, so we produced the interviews. One of them was a 60 Minutes interview, and then there was a couple other ones that we did. I had great interactions with her. She was a wonderful person. She though was very protective of President Reagan, and she hung in there to, very, very end. I went to her funeral, and his funeral, but her funeral down at the Reagan Library. And I think the stories I heard from the people there were the same thing, that she was really just kind of a straight up genuine person. And, but she was no nonsense. She would tell it like it was, and how she saw it. And so I think that, and that's refreshing in this day and age. She just kind of laid it out there.
Wow, John, that's such a cool story, man. Like I said, I mean, one of our greatest presidents of, in history, you got to work underneath that administration.
It was a blast. I stayed there till January 20th at 12 noon in 1989, so that's the day that George Herbert Walker Bush was sworn in as president, and I left the administration after that. But it was a lot of fun. I was a young kid, so it wasn't like I had a position of power. I just had a creative position and had a lot of fun doing what I did, and I thought that it I think he did an exceptional job of leading this country.
So you could technically do what I do right here because you have that experience.
I do have some of that experience, but no, I think you do an exceptional job. So I'm not so sure.
But we should think about that as a co-host, because I think, like I said, it'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, you do. I mean, you do such a good job. I wanted to thank you for covering the Creston Classic Rodeo, which is just a great event. You did the Sheriff's Rodeo. You're really an active member of this community, and we really appreciate, from a community standpoint, I really appreciate the things that you do for our community.
I appreciate that, because like I said, we live in a really cool community.
Oh, it's wonderful.
I mean, you go outside this community and you realize what we really have.
Yeah.
And
to me, I mean, you have to go away to really appreciate it, and my family's the same way. My daughter just graduated from college. My son's gone away to college, and I think they do kind of gives you an idea of what it's really, what our community's really about. I've never lived in a place. I've lived in a lot of different places, because I lived in Washington, D.C. for 8 years, and I lived in both Maryland and Virginia and Washington, D.C., but I've never been in a community like this that is so, supportive of their fellow community members.
Right.
If somebody gets sick, that then they, they'll show up, and they'll, the families will show up, they'll do a barbecue, they'll raise money, they'll do whatever they need to do to help these people have a better life. And it's just, it's taking care of their neighbors. I've never seen anything quite like it. And I remember, I'm from Los Angeles originally, third generation in Los Angeles County, and it used to be that way. According to my dad and my grandfather, Los Angeles was the same way, but it's not that. With 11 million people, it can't be that way, right? We have close to 300,000 people here in San Luis Obispo County, and they're just the salt of the earth, the best people.
Well, my grandfather was mayor of Compton.
There you go.
Back then, so you can kind of think about how it was back in the 30s, 40s versus the way it is now.
Yeah.
So
amazing.
But let's take another break, John, and we'll be right back with John Peschong on What's Up North County.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
Hi, this is Omid.
And Deanna.
At North County Junk Removal. We are a business known for helping our neighbors and our community.
Let us help you save money and get rid of any unwanted items.
And rest assured that our professional team adheres to global standards of safety and recycling. We are fully licensed and insured for your peace of mind.
We are locally owned and operated, and we look forward to helping you with all your junk removal needs.
Please call us at 805-769-6966.
Hey, welcome back to What's Up North County, and we're talking here with Supervisor John Peschong, and with some interesting stuff with the Reagan administration and pretty much what you do. But so, John, there's a lot of different things going on around here. I mean, from gas stations to mental health potentials to I mean, what are some of the hot topics right now here in the North County?
Well, I do know gas stations are. I think there's been a couple more proposed for Templeton, and so people have been talking about that. They've been meeting. The kind of path for that would be go talk to the Templeton Area Advisory Group, and and then go from there to the Planning Commission, and then if it's appealed after the Planning Commission vote, it comes to the Board of Supervisors. But there's kind of a path that all of these projects have to go through. I know that there was a discussion of a hotel on Main Street in Templeton. There's not a whole lot in Shandon, and I represent Shandon, San Miguel, Templeton, Paso Robles, and then up in Lake Nacimiento. A lot of the kind of other areas, we just did a groundbreaking that I really had nothing to do with. The CSD in San Miguel and the fire department, they have a new fire station that they're going to be adding on to. So they did a groundbreaking the other night that I went to, and it was spectacular to hear kind of how they put this whole deal together and how they're going to be able to service the community of San Miguel. We do a lot of road work up there. As I said, I talked about the pool earlier, so making sure that there's recreational services available to those kids up there. And then Shandon, we've been working on. We had an issue with the library out there and the air conditioning, so we're working on getting the air conditioning fixed because it gets hot in that library. They have an old library there, and it gets pretty hot there. So we're trying to make sure the kids can enjoy their summer with books next year at least. So we'll get that fixed. But there's all these little projects, the things that pop up. Everything from potholes to somebody threw an old washing machine, on the side of the road, and we'll get somebody to go pick it up and clean it up. So we do all kinds of, from a supervisorial standpoint, all of these are little ones. And then you get into the kind of the bigger issues, which is the long-range planning ones. And one of them would be like the hotel that's going to be that's being built right now in Los Tablas. That came before the board a long time ago, I think before I was even on the board, and it's just starting to get built. But there's a lot of people that are, they're trying to figure out what it means for their community. And so that's, and there's going to be a new gas station down the street too, on some commercial property right next to the freeway, and that one we did vote on. So and we got enough votes for that to go forward, and so that'll be coming in, and it's a gas station with about, I think, 10 pumps and then 10 charging stations, because we have to probably do charging stations on everything right now. But
so John, let me stop you right there, because it just seems like, as a resident of Templeton, obviously a lot of these projects aren't just like something that you guys just voted on last week and they're starting this week. These are long in the process.
Yes, very much so.
And as a again, resident of Templeton, we see, the service emergency, building, going in next to the sheriff department.
Yes.
You see, and you hear, the hotels, or the hotel, you hear the gas stations, the proposals. You hear also a mental institution, I think, past the hospital.
That one was before I was on, but I was not supportive of that, but it did pass the board. It has not been built yet, so it's been over 10 years. I don't know if that one is ever going to actually be coming in. So that one has not been, I don't even think they've broken ground on that.
No, they haven't. But, so that, like you said, 10 years ago, is there any time period that you go, sorry, you had to do this?
Yeah, they do a time period, so it could be 15 years, it could be 10, could be 20, but they'll put it into the proposal. And so the permits can't expire. And so the projects, the example I'll give you was down next to the post office. There's that lot that in the July they sell fireworks on, and that got approved to do kind of an office setup, and that was going to be maybe a dental office and a wine tasting or something like that, with some houses in the back. And that's probably been 4 years since we approved that, and I don't think that it's I don't believe that that's kind of moving forward. I think they're now talking about reevaluating those plans. But the co-located dispatch center that's next to the sheriff's station. So that's going in. I did vote for that in the community. There was some folks at TAG, the Templeton Area Advisory Group, that didn't want that, but the sheriff came out and told us that this is a location that will help save lives here in North County. So I voted for it. And
what exactly is that going to do? How would that save lives as opposed to how they did it before.
Right. So it's basically, it wasn't in one location. So they have all these dispatches in different locations. This will coordinate it all in one location. There'll be about 25 people that will work out of that building that they're building, and they're going to be able to coordinate all of your public safety. So your sheriff's department, your police department, your fire department, the county fire, all of these will now be under one roof to be able to be coordinated, and it will actually increase response time.
So how do they do it now?
Well, I should say decrease response time to a location. So it's now done completely separately. Everybody's kind of all over the map in this county.
Gotcha.
And there was 2 locations. One location was going to be down in San Luis Obispo, down near Oklahoma Avenue. This location is better because of its elevation, and we're able to hit all of the areas in North County.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people. Well, I think it's more just unknown of why.
No, I totally. And there was discussions on water runoff, right? And there was discussions on what's it going to do about traffic. But I actually think it's going to be a pretty good. And I could actually see it from where my family lives. We can see it. So we're but I think it's going to be able to help people in our community. And that's the basic motivating factor for me is, does this help people live a better life in our county? And I think that does.
So John, let me step back to the gas station part and kind of the build and how does traffic account for decision makings? Excuse me, for stuff like this.
Well, we have to do a traffic study, so we know exactly how many cars are projected to enter and exit, and so and a lot of times projects will come in and they'll say, well, because you're going to bring this many cars in, like if we put a Buc-ee's, and I don't know if you've been to a Buc-ee's, but do you know what that is?
What is it? Food?
So it's not. It's a gas and food station, but they'll have 100 pumps. Okay. It's based out of Texas, and I've never seen more. It's the longest row of gas pumps you've ever seen in your life. And then you go in and they've got a barbecue, and it's I can't talk about it enough because it's the craziest business model I've ever seen. But it'll be thousands of people will be there, and to me, every time they do build one of those, they have to do a traffic study, and they'll make them put in a roundabout or a new parking lot or widen the road to 6 lanes or whatever it would be, and this allows the traffic to be able to continue to flow and not get stalled. So on that particular gas station in Los Tablas, the entrance and exits are all on the 2 side streets. They're not on Los Tablas.
So there's going to be new
entrances
pathways.
And exits.
Gotcha.
Yes. So you'd go up and then you'd be able to turn in. It's not the largest gas station in the county. There's actually quite a few that are much larger. One of them being the new Arco station in Atascadero. It's about twice as big. And then there's a really big one down in Napomo. There's one, the Costco gas station is expanding, so it's much bigger. So this is going to have, and they added on, the state is mandating, a lot of places to have these charging stations, electric charging stations. So, and then they downscaled it. So they took it, it was supposed to have a car wash and a fast food restaurant and then the mini market, and they took the car wash and the fast food out on the request of the Templeton Area Advisory Group.
I mean, I won't not say that we don't need like Buffalo Wild Wings or something right off the freeway right here. That would be really cool. But like I said, there was just a lot of communication. People were calling me going, "Hey, get this out," and I'm like, no problem.
No, it was a pretty contentious hearing. Now, not as contentious as I've seen before on some other ones, but there are people that were definitely, and I think their hearts are all in the right place. They were a little nervous. There were some things that weren't actually accurate about it that they had heard, and I think you look at it too. I mean, it is next to the gas station. It is next to the freeway. There were more speakers that came before the Board of Supervisors that were for it than were against it. And one of the, a number of them talked about being able to, maybe get a cup of coffee at 2:00 in the morning when they get off their shift at the hospital, or get something to eat, or fill up their car, or charge their car. So, I mean, there's give and take in this, and it's a larger lot, but they've landscaped it so they're going to be able to block out a lot of the noise and the light and the sound from a 24-hour gas station. And I think it's going to be a benefit to the community at the end of the day.
How does something like that affect like the homelessness? Because it seems like that was one of the complaints, obviously, for, a facility that's open, nighttime, 24/7, whatever, that brings in that type of people.
Yeah, I think most of it, just because of its location, most of it's going to be, because there's not a lot of other services around there. Now, there is a hospital that is 24 hours, right? So,
Right.
And they do take folks that, maybe overdose into the hospital. We're getting, from a county perspective, we now have a sobering center that's set up, so we're able to get a lot of those people that are experiencing their addiction, or alcohol addiction or drug addiction into a sobering center to get them kind of clear-headed so we can have rational conversations. But we've changed over the last year. The state government has changed kind of how we deal with homeless folks. We now have care court, which will be it'll be mandated by a judge in their care on how we're going to be able to get them to be to think rationally, maybe get them off the narcotics or the meth or whatever they're on, or get them off at alcohol, or be able to get them stabilized at a crisis stabilization center, so we can do that. Get them back on their medication if they're having a behavioral or mental health issue. So I think we can, it's going to be a balance, and it's going to get open at some point. They'll build it and it'll get open, and then, we'll just have to see. We have had, though, we had about 1,500 people that were homeless in San Luis Obispo County 2 years ago. This last point in time count, we're down to about 1,100, and we're working very, very hard to get these people permanent housing, or get them clean and sober, or get them on their meds, if they're dealing with the mental health issues.
So, John, let me hold you up right there. Let's take another break, because I want to talk a little bit about the eco shelters, and what they're doing in the community in order to help those numbers there.
You bet.
So we will be right back to What's Up North County with Supervisor John Peschong.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today. We can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Hi, welcome to Kennedy Club Fitness, where we have something for everyone. We have weights, cardio, group exercise classes, racquetball, basketball, swimming, and pickleball coming soon. Here at Kennedy, we're committed to health, wellness, and community. Stop by any of our 4 locations: Paso Robles, Atascadero, San Luis Obispo, and Arroyo Grande, or check out our website at kennedyclubs.com.
Hey, welcome back to What's Up North County, and we are talking here with Supervisor John Peschong about all kinds of things happen here in the North County.
There's a lot going on.
There's so much stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have a whole day show here, but we'll try not to.
Yeah.
But we're on homelessness and the county, and we're talking about eco shelter. So what eco? I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with Wendy and those
Very
guys
much so.
over there. They're doing a really good, and I always separate homeless versus like what I think people think is homeless. You know what I'm saying? Because I think there's a difference in that. I think like the real homelessness are the ones that really that are homeless, down on their luck, whatever it may be, and they don't want to be there. So those are the ones that are actually reaching out and wanting the help. And then there are also the homeless that doesn't want the help. But you mentioned before we went to commercial break that we reduced the numbers by about 300 or 400 numbers in the last year. How significant and important is a place like Eco Shelter?
Well, for North County, it is very, very important. I think they're a great organization. They've expanded to Paso Robles, so they have the 2 shelters. They've done a very good job of being able to communicate how effective they are. So they talk about how many people they've put into permanent housing. So if you're a young family and you're experiencing homelessness, they'll get you a place right away. The same thing goes with veterans. They have a lot of programs for veterans. I think what we see as kind of homelessness are kind of the young men that are living in the riverbed right now, and there's an addiction problem. So we have services available to all of them. We have being able, as I talked about, the sobering center. We have the psychiatric health facility. We have crisis stabilization center. We have a number of services where we can get people the help they need, but they have to actually admit that they want to be in those programs, and that's the toughest part right now, because a lot of these folks that are living down in the river that we see come up to this, the AM/PM mini market in Paso or someplace at Atascadero, or the ones that you've seen, the little encampment just on the other side of the bridge in Atascadero, on the county along the river there. Those folks, they've been approached many times, and we've got to figure out a way to kind of slow down and stop the encampments, so they have, they know that there are services available, but it's not acceptable to us as a community to sleep, on the side of the road or pass out, in the river or whatever it would be. And so to me, that's kind of that's the toughest thing. And so the governor put a program in called Care Court, which would be state mandated. So if we're finding people that refuse to, take responsibility for their actions, keep breaking the law, the folks that are committing petty theft, or those types of things, the court can step in and mandate that they go to a rehab program or go to a mental health court and be able to work their problems out in the court system, so we can get them to make, at least make rational decisions about their future and what they'd like to do.
Because Governor Newsom just passed the bill recently about encampments and homeless, and
Yep.
So it kind of changed the path that we were originally on to where the cities now can take action.
It was actually a court case. It was Martin versus Boise that said that we had to have shelter space available, be able to move them off of public property. Well, that's been changed now, so the courts have ruled on that. So that allows us to go in there and say that this is it's not safe. It's not safe for the community. It's not safe for you, and we're going to be able to, get you the services you need so you can lead a healthy life. And to me, the biggest problem that we have is this fentanyl crisis that we have, and that's what's driving a lot of this now. It used to be, I believe, methamphetamines, but about 80% of the homeless people you see have some sort of addiction or mental health problems, and that's where ECHO comes in. ECHO is able to kind of be able to start talking with these people or get them in touch with the right people, because it's a different clientele, right? So, the folks that are in the shelter, are those people that are, economically they've had problems, or they made a mistake or something happened, they got arrested, and we want to be able to get them into a shelter and then get them, because we know that housing, will help them get themselves back on their feet, back on the ground, and that's what ECHO does. But there are folks that don't want any part of that, and that's reaching those people, and that's where the toughest thing is being able to get them to be able to make a decision that I need some help.
John, have you ever been on one of those outreach organizations, or went on, out in the field?
I have.
To these homeless encampments?
Yes.
What is that like? What's the conversation like?
A lot of times it's, they won't talk to you. I found that, and because they're, you're trying to figure out, why they're not able to communicate with you, and so a lot of times it has to do with the substance abuse that they're dealing with, or the mental illness. Sometimes when you talk to them, you have no idea what they're talking about, right? They're just kind of wandering mentally, they're wandering around. But there are some that you have some good conversations with that just tell you straight up, no, I'm happy here, living in the river.
Really?
And so you're just like, and I can, you and I could see this is not a good way to live, right? You're going to get sick. This is, you could possibly die. We've had a number of people die, in their encampments down there from overdoses or heart attacks or whatever it would be, the older folks. But some of them like being on their own, and we've got to be able to convince them that we have services available to help them get back on their feet. And some of them, there's an embarrassment factor too, right? That they've kind of fallen, to such a level that they're just embarrassed. And And the homeless programs, we have so many homeless programs. That's one of the problems, I think, is we have too many homeless programs, because some of them don't work. I've been here, as I said, 8 years, and there are programs that we had 8 years ago that are no longer in existence because we had to shut them down because they didn't do anything. But there's kind of a renewed sense of being able to help people get where they need to be, and then those, actually having to, kind of force them into a court-mandated program.
John, is there any truth to the fact that within the homeless that are down the river and in the streets and stuff like that, that it's there's a governing body of them amongst themselves?
I think that there's a discussion of a governing body, but you're talking about, let's just say you're talking about 25 or 30 people that are on the substances, right? And so doesn't really have like a hierarchy,
right?
The hierarchy falls apart pretty quick, so, and because they're mobile, they get sideways with the hierarchy, they just move. And so and I'll tell you the story because most of the time what happens is that when the police departments in the cities or the sheriff's department goes in there, they just, so the Paso PD comes down and says, we're gonna have to move you out of here. They just move up into the county, and they can't be touched by the Paso PD or the Atascadero PD. That's the one on 41 East, when you come across the river.
Right. The bridge.
And there's the encampment on the left side. That's in the county property, And so one of my goals is to try to figure out how to get services to those guys so we can get them out of there.
So Tascadero PD obviously has no jurisdiction. Wow, that's so weird.
Yeah, and the same thing happened down in the riverbed, Santa Maria River down, that separates Santa Barbara County and San Luis Obispo County. There's probably 25 or 30 people living down there.
Really?
And in the riverbed. And it's a dry riverbed. The one guy had built actually a 2-story house, out of pallets and different things like that they had found. But they use all the services and then create some problems in the city of Santa Maria, which is Santa Barbara, but then they just come over and they sleep in the river, which is in San Luis Obispo, county. So we've got to kind of work with Santa Barbara County and Santa Maria and our county to figure out how to deal with that.
The craziest thing is they're not dumb and they're very resourced.
Yeah.
Because I go over to the valley and stuff like that, and you see the homeless, you see them on the corners. We were talking about, the governing body within, because you never see a fight on the corner with like more than one person. So there's got to be some sort of, organization, I would think. They are talking, you see them talking to themselves and carrying on conversations with other people as they're walking, but they stop at the stoplights. They stop and wait for the green light so there's something, happening inside that gives them a little bit of reality versus unreality stuff.
And two, the mental health crisis is real, right? It's real in this country. And a lot of the times, they had been on medication and stopped taking their meds because of the way, I've been told, the way they made them feel. And so, getting them to make rational decisions about their future, you have to be able to have a rational conversation. And you can only do that if they're taking their meds, if they're taking care of themselves. So that's one of the things I think that we really need to focus on from that aspect is to help them. We truly need to be able to get them, to kind of force them to be able to get back on their medication.
So the next step is to try to get them, we have 1,100, you said, approximately?
1,100.
So to drastically somehow reduce that number and or, prevent them from even becoming a number.
Yeah.
So
well, and a lot of it, as I said, the drug addiction is real. It's real in this county. Fentanyl has actually killed more young people in this county that have overdosed than we've had in a very, probably ever. We have more overdoses because it's a very deadly drug, and it's in our community. And so, but the methamphetamine production. This is, if you look back 4 years ago in Paso Robles, they had about 99 fires in the riverbed one year, and a lot of that was not just the cooking. People say, it was just they were cooking dinner. It actually has a lot to do, with the manufacturing of methamphetamines. And yes, there is some people that make fires to stay warm, but not when it's 107 degrees, in the summertime.
Right.
So you're just dealing with people that are. I honestly believe they're good people that are just caught in this cycle of addiction and they can't make rational decisions.
So, John, before we take another break, I want to, since we are talking about the riverbed and stuff like that and the homeless, because we have a unapproved recreational area down the riverbed for off-road motorcycles, families, and stuff like that, which I've been there, tons of times over the years, great times with the kids, but yet the police enforce that issue versus instead of the homeless being down there.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is okay to give tickets for the motorcycle guys enjoying it with the family versus the homeless guy that's a bush away?
Well, I think that there was some things that got a little bit out of control. Most of this is driven by the people that ride their horses down in the riverbed, because there was some young folks on motorcycles, and I don't know exactly what the interaction was, but in Atascadero, I can tell you that what ended up happening was that the motorcycles started, kind of harassing the horses, and that's pretty dangerous, right? Because a lot of these horses have never been around anything as loud as a dirt bike, right? So that's where that kind of got, and so the clampdown has been based on that, and I still believe that there's a way to everybody can recreate in the riverbed. But it is not, technically it's not allowed, right? But I think that if people were, tried to be respectful of each other, they'd be able to probably continue to enjoy it. But I think that's where it's coming from. And the equestrian people, they have a number of spots where they can pull their trailers up and then, ride their horses down to the riverbed and do the De Anza Trail and that kind of thing. And the De Anza Trail is a walking trail, right? So I think, you're dealing. There's also a lot of private property down there. The riverbed is not as wide as everybody thinks it is. There's private property comes pretty far down into the thing, and then the property owners get upset. So there's some give and take there.
Well, there you go. There's another future project that I think would be welcome.
I completely agree, because I see, just here and then Shandon, we have a big kind of dirt bike community in Shandon. San Miguel's the same thing, and people just love it. I mean, and my son used to have a dirt bike, and just all his friends. It's just a wonderful thing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, John, let's take another break, and we'll be right back to What's Up North County with John Peschong.
My name is Jennifer Borhone-Wescombe.
And I'm Haley Wescombe from Borhone Auto Center. Borhone Auto Center is a family-owned and operated GMC dealership. We are your go-to dealership for quality vehicles. With a vast inventory and personalized service, we are here to make your purchase seamless.
Whether it's a luxurious Yukon or a rugged Sierra, we have the perfect ride for you. Come see us today to experience the Borhone family difference. We are located on the corner of Highway 46 East and Golden Hill Road in Paso Robles.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We're all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.
Hey, welcome back to What's Up North County, and we're talking here to Supervisor John Peschong. And like I said, I just want to say again, thank you for your services, and thank you for everything that you do. I know, you got lovers, you got haters, you got all that stuff in between, but you guys do have a job that has to serve the people, which is awesome.
Well, and I'm a representative of the people in the 1st District. So, and as I said earlier, that's Shandon, San Miguel, Paso Robles, Templeton, Lake Nacimiento, the Adelaide area. Roblar, downtown Roblar, which I don't know if you know where that is.
What is that?
So Roblar is a town off of basically Vineyard that's up in the Adelaide area, and it had been laid out 100 years ago.
Really?
And one of the first things I did, I met a number of people up there, and they said we'd like a little sign, if we could do a sign for our community of Roblar. I think maybe 50 people live there, so we got a little sign put up, made their day. So.
Wait a minute. Okay. So up Adelaide, you go out Vineyard, travel into the boondocks.
Yeah.
The cemetery's out there. Mm-hmm. And there's a little
You'll
town.
see a little town called, it's called Roblar, and you'll see a little sign that says Roblar.
Mm-hmm. Is there an actual zip code?
No post office. It's I think it's Paso zip code. But Roblar was laid out like 100 years ago.
No
so
kidding.
It's a real community. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's so. How Roblar?
Roblar.
Roblar. That is interesting.
Yeah. There's another one too. I think it's Bern, Bern. That's out towards Shandon. These are all some of the old little communities out there. That just kind of the world grew up around.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah. Shalam is another one, which you probably know, which is further out there, on the 46, 41.
But there's no real residents other than just.
I think they have maybe 15 residents or something on the farms and the ranches that are around there.
What about the Parkfield Cafe? What about Parkfield? How do we bring Parkfield into that?
So Parkfield used to be, that whole area, plus all the way to San Ardo, used to be San Luis Obispo County. That I think in like 1880 it went to Monterey County or something like that. So we can't get it back. I talk to the supervisor all the time about getting some of our land back up there in Monterey County. His name's Chris Lopez. He's not giving it up.
Well, I always include Parkfield as when we talk about North County, burgers and stuff like that.
It's a wonderful community.
Yeah, and the Parkfield Cafe has one of the best burgers, top three as far as in our What's Up North County, locations for the best burgers.
Oh, it's a wonderful place.
Yeah,
and all of these little communities that we have, the kind of rural area, just it's just a great place to work, live, and raise a family.
So John, let's step aside and just talk about the cool area that we got here. You're part of now the Creston Classic Rodeo.
I did. I got put onto the board of directors of the all-volunteer Creston Classic Rodeo.
And so we're going to be broadcasting that. We've been giving away tickets, but we're going to be broadcasting that live starting tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. And we were talking about the small towns, Creston being one of those little small towns. And we had Linda Rohrer in here and Rob, and they were saying, by the looks of it, other than a little bit of upgrades and stuff like that, Creston really hasn't changed.
No.
Other than a couple little businesses, but as far as like the landscape.
Yeah, but it looks the same as it has. And it's a wonderful all-volunteer rodeo. I think they have 600 participants this time, and it's great. And we have some really good. I'm not taking away from the other big rodeos, the county rodeo at the Mid-State Fair, which is a great rodeo, and the Sheriff's Rodeo, which I think you also have worked. But those three rodeos, and then you've got the Cal Poly does a lot of stuff with that rodeo team. High school rodeo's big here, and so it's been a tremendous I think asset for the community of Creston and the county of San Luis Obispo, and the fact that it's put on all by volunteers and they call it the Creston Classic Rodeo. It's just a wonderful experience.
Well, it was an interesting story to hear the how it came about. With Cotton Rosser, came and did his pop-up rodeo out there for a couple years, and then Linda, kind of gathering the wagons together to get the grounds put in their own arena, and starting this annual by far I would say it's a bigger rodeo. You got the rodeo at the fairgrounds, one day sold out. This is like 4 days that you guys started yesterday with barrel racing, and then tonight you guys are going to be having the team roping, which will probably go pretty late into the evening, and then tomorrow morning as well as, and then the performance on Saturday starts at 4:30, and then Sunday again at 12:30. So that's a pretty big undertaking. And we were out there yesterday, and this isn't even like where there's a bunch of it was packed.
Yeah,
it was packed
every day. Every day is packed. People have it on their calendars. I'm sure they have next year's. On Monday morning they're going to have next year's dates on their calendar to be there, because it's just it's a great experience for the whole family. And the beauty of it too is that it is spectator friendly, right? It's just a great location to come out and watch the way rodeo should be.
Jeff Rigby made a great comment of why it's a country rodeo. What makes the difference between a country rodeo and an NFR, pro, rodeo, and it's actual things that somebody would do on a ranch.
Yeah.
Like what a cowgirl is going to do, on a ranch, rope, tie, and all that stuff. So I said,
real life experience.
So you being on the board, John, I think me and Rob came up with a new event concept.
Outstanding.
Okay, are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay, so we get 2 flatbed trailers. We get a pile of hay on each side, normal, load, and we have the buck and hay event.
There you go.
Right? And we get 2 head-to-head, and it's all, and then they got to jump into the truck. So you got a baler, you got a bucker, you got a stacker. And then that person, they get in the truck and they have to run past their timed event.
Outstanding.
How cool would that be?
That would be, and for time, right?
Yeah.
For time.
100%. I don't even know how we could call that, but it would. I think that. You're talking about real life, things that happen on the ranch.
Experience.
Right.
Yeah. I love that event. Can we name it after you guys?
You know what? Rob kind of coined that. He's gonna have Rob Rohrer over there. He wants to do the buckle, but absolutely, I think we can coexist. But I think that would be really fun.
I think
it'd be
it's
really
going to be
interesting.
wonderful. Yeah.
It's such a great event with the Creston Classic Rodeo. It takes obviously all year to this undertaking. The rodeo grounds are completely transitioned. You guys got new lights out there, which makes a big difference.
It does.
You got the bleachers. You guys brought in bleachers. You got the vendors that are going to be there. They were set up last night. And then you have all the stuff for the kids. And what does that mean to the community? Because you guys not only put on this huge event, but it also gives back to the community of Creston for different services. So talk to me about that.
So what it is really kind of focusing. I like to focus on the scholarships, for kids and kids that are going to be going to doing something, after they graduate from the local schools. And so to me, that's and the fair does it too. So I'm not kind of excluding people. And then the Sheriff's Foundation does that, to be able to support the foundation. And they're having actually their Kids Day this I think tomorrow down in Madonna Meadows. So, but all of these are focused around making this community better place, because we're educating and we're helping our children, and it could be vocational education, it could be a college education, but getting kids scholarships to be able to help them, improve themselves, improve their families. So to me, that's kind of where the beauty of these local events are. And I'm not saying that these just rodeos do this, but all these different organizations in our community that support, and a lot of it is based on the FFA and 4-H programs that we have in our community. I know a number of kids that are in high school rodeo, and this is a great outlet for them to be able to continue their rodeo careers, even after they get out of high school. So they can continue to do that. Not every kid's going to be going to Cal Poly to get on the rodeo team, but they still have an opportunity to compete. And to me, that's what this is about. The competition is good. As rodeo, football, other sports, they do turn our young people into really good adults, and they change them enough, and they show them the ways of leadership that allow them to excel in the future.
Yeah,
they're making good human beings.
Is there anything proposed, in the future that you can see? What developments out in Creston?
Well, so far, there was a lot of, and Creston's not part of my district, so it's Debbie Arnold's part of Debbie Arnold's district, and soon to be Heather Moreno's district, because she won the election to take Heather did to take Debbie's place in January. But there's a lot of things out there that we've had to actually kind of come in with. Planning and stuff. People were trying to set up some kind of campgrounds and things like that without permits, and so there are, the market's under kind of new ownership out there, and it's working really well. The Long Branch is what a success.
Another burger, another great burger,
off the charts, right?
You
got
the loading chute down there with
the which is
steaks.
I still go to the post office there a couple times. And then you got the store, right? Which has got, some of the best kind of leather goods I've ever seen in my life, right? So you've got all these really cool little places in Creston, and I don't think there's going to be a lot of development. That's the one thing, is that this pulls in a ton of people into the community. And and people that live in Creston that I've met with, and I've met with their advisory group. Obviously we have our board meetings out there for the rodeo, but they just love the community so much, and it's a wonderful community.
So you being a part of the board now, now you guys are in like the depths of the event. So the event's kicking off.
And these are volunteers. They give their heart. These volunteers on the board give their heart and soul to this rodeo. I've never seen anything quite like it. It's just, and to go from, to have the number of participants, and then the crowd coming out, it's been a wonderful experience to be on the board. Tom Bordenaro's the chairman, so our county assessor's on the chairman, who lives in Creston, up on Camp 8 Road, and he's come in as chair, and he's just done, I think, a great job with all of the different folks that just, as I said, give their heart and soul to it.
Very awesome. Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to it. We can't wait to be out there.
I think it's great, and I really appreciate you being there and doing this, because it brings rodeo to a whole wider crowd, and it really is helpful. And it's just it makes more rodeo fans.
Yeah, well, we're excited about it, and like I said, it's going to be fun. It's going to be enjoying to bring in the sponsors, because we're going to be chatting with them, bring in some of the contestants, chat with them.
Good.
Mutton busting, that's my favorite event.
It's a wonderful
out
event.
there. That should be. We were just talking about that earlier. That should be Saturday and Sunday. Two events.
It should be an Olympic sport.
Oh, 100%.
If they can have break dancing as an Olympic sport, mutton busting should be an Olympic sport.
I agree. Let's put that on the ballot.
And this could be a qualifier for the Olympics.
There you go. Well, John, let's take another break, and we will be right back to What's Up North County with John Peschong.
Hi, my name is Ron Mullins with RE/MAX Parkside in Paso Robles, California. I have proudly represented buyers and sellers in northern San Luis Obispo County since 1990. Give me a call to discuss how my experience can help you achieve your real estate goals. I can be reached at 805-235-2308. I look forward to the opportunity to earn your business.
Welcome back to What's Up North County, and I want to thank Supervisor John Peschong for coming in and talking today. I appreciate that, John.
My pleasure. Thank you, and again, thank you for everything you do for the community.
Absolutely. Like you said, the community, the thanks is all back onto you guys and what you guys do over there for us as a community as well. So we appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to having you back on, and I want to, dig in some more stuff, because that was really good information. I really appreciate how open you are.
I appreciate the opportunity.
So awesome, John. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, guys. Hey, make sure that you guys tune in to What's Up North County on YouTube. This weekend, we're going to be broadcasting the Creston Classic Rodeo. This is the 28th ever, and you do not want to miss this, because this could be loads and loads of fun. But as always, guys, we can't do this without you and our sponsors. We'd like to thank Escalar Wines, Wine Travelers Hideaway, Visit Atascadero, 805 Customs, Ron Mullins with RE/MAX, North County Junk Removal, The Trailer Barn, Story Termite and Pest Control, Borhone Auto Center, Kennedy Club Fitness, Airflow Filter Services, Suprema Meat Market, and MGP Coatings, guys. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today, we can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Hi, it's Alex with Suprema Meat Market. We are a Mexican meat market with a taqueria. Come enjoy our high-quality cuts and meats. We offer choice and prime Harris Ranch beef, as well as chicken, seafood, and pork items. In the taqueria, all of our tacos come with handmade tortillas. We also offer specialty items like chilaquiles and chile rellenos. Come enjoy Taco Tuesday with Suprema. We offer our tacos at $1.99 each. Suprema Meat Market is located at 8950 Montecito Avenue in Atascadero.
Are you tired of looking at that worn-out concrete garage floor, patio, or porch? Look no further than MGP Coatings, where customer service reigns supreme. Our team goes above and beyond to ensure your satisfaction every step of the way. Before we even start coating, we meticulously repair your concrete, ensuring a flawless finish that lasts. And here's the best part. Our Pentec coatings are 4 times stronger than epoxy, so they won't chip or peel, making maintenance a breeze. Plus, they come with a limited lifetime warranty. Call us today at 805-952-5301 or check out our Facebook and Instagram and experience the MGP coating difference. Don't wait. Transform your garage, patio, porch, or driveway and become a part of the MGP coating family.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
Hi, this is Omid
And Deanna.
at North County Junk Removal. We are a business known for helping our neighbors and our community.
Let us help you save money and get rid of any unwanted items.
And rest assured that our professional team adheres to global standards of safety and recycling. We are fully licensed and insured for your peace of mind.
We are locally owned and operated, and we look forward to helping you with all your junk removal needs.
Please call us at 805-769-6966.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We're all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.
Hi, welcome to Kennedy Club Fitness, where we have something for everyone. We have weights, cardio, group exercise classes, racquetball, basketball, swimming, and pickleball coming soon. Here at Kennedy, we're committed to health, wellness, and community. Stop by any of our 4 locations: Paso Robles, Atascadero, San Luis Obispo, and Arroyo Grande, or check out our website at kennedyclubs.com.
Hi, my name is Ron Mullins with Remax Parkside in Paso Robles, California. I have proudly represented buyers and sellers in northern San Luis Obispo County since 1990. Give me a call to discuss how my experience can help you achieve your real estate goals. I can be reached at 805-235-23